tend to start over here and work away in this direction so you don't overlap the part where you're drawing. Alright, so for the bottom, I'm going to come in here, and I really want his chin to be right. Well, wait first a minute, we got something. We've got the little circles for his nose. Again, because they're small, I'm going to go back to the other pencil position. Sketch in his nose. I think I'll do the same thing with the chin because it's small detail, and I can get a better feel for it when it's small. Detail, it's great to hold the pencil this way. Larger things this way. So this is a larger line. So again, I'm going to go back to this position, sketch the line in quick. Same thing here. If it matches exactly, fine. If it doesn't, not a problem. Alright, since I'm right-handed, I want to do this leg next and move in this direction. If you're left-handed, you're going to be working over here and working in this direction. Again, so you're not working over the type of your drawing. I remember years ago, what would happen is they would teach people, because most people were right-handed, to draw like this. You'd tilt your paper like this and write, and some of you will remember that. And those who were left-handed tried to make it look the same, so they'd hold their pencils and they would write like this, and that's what they would learn to do. And I'm sure you've seen people write that way. When the correct way for a left-hand person is to tilt the paper this way and write similar to the way we would write. So there's little things I like to try to point out along the way, because maybe many of you out there are left-handed. So, you know, change your paper, change your hand position, whatever you need to do to match your style of how you work. Alright, so if you're left-handed, you're going to be working over here. Right-handed, I'm going to be working here. And again, I'm not going to try to draw this leg all in one shot. I'm going to draw it in parts. I'm going to draw this half first and then come back and get this half. And I'm going to try to do it fairly quickly. Okay, quick makes a nice line. I'm going to do the body line next, which comes from the chin down in here. Now on his toes, they're small again, so I'm going back to the other hand position. And because he's resting on the top of the rock, I'm not going to make these circles. I'm going to make them rounded half circles. Because that way it looks like, you know, we're looking at his feet like they're coming at us like this. Where the ones down here, they're like this, where we can see the toes. Alright, but here, they're back here resting like this. See the difference? Alright, next would be this leg, because I'm again moving away. If you're left-handed, you're going this way. I want to make that in a big fast stroke. Now I'm going to just speed up a little bit, because I'm just following my lines. Again here, notice when I draw these toes, I'm drawing one half at a time pretty much. You draw one half, draw the other half. One half, the other half. And when you get the feeling of it, there's a kind of rhythm to it that makes it work very nicely. And then just quickly some lines for where his toes go. And I think I need to darken in the rock. And there's our first cartoon sketch that we've worked with, which is a frog sitting on a rock. And just to review, the first I've tried to, and if you can't imagine a frog, maybe you've never drawn one. In fact, one of the most interesting things that I've found with people is it's much easier to draw something you're familiar with. Have somebody give you the name of an animal or a creature maybe that you've never really seen before. Let's say a duck-billed platypus. I don't know that I could draw a duck-billed platypus because I have no knowledge, I have no experience, I have no background. So what I would do is maybe go to Wikipedia online, or do a Google search, or go to the library, or look in some old magazines, and I try to find some pictures of a duck-billed platypus. And I do a little study. Well, how big are his body parts? What can I exaggerate? What can I make smaller? And then start with the circular kinds of shapes. And like I showed you here, to begin to develop my cartoon or my cartoon drawing. All right. Another thing that's a good exercise in cartooning is just to really do a whole bunch of sketches where you're playing with exaggeration in small parts, and we're going to do a little bit of that next. And so what I want to do is I want to think kind of like these first sketches that I showed you, like here, you know, where I greatly exaggerated the cheeks, is take something, and maybe let's start with a nose. How can you draw a nose? And so you do pages of experiments. So a nose could be a circle. A nose could be a circle with two little circles at the bottom of it. All right. The nose could be, and you'll see it a lot in cartoons, a letter L. All right. Or it could be a letter like a backwards J, or that could come down around this way. And then we could put some little circles on either side to represent the nostrils. All right. A nose could be two little tiny holes. All right. For fun, just to mention, little kids when they first start drawing, one of the things you'll notice is they draw something that maybe looks like this, with this huge, what we refer to as a pig nose. Well, again, it's point of view. Next time you have somebody who's willing to stand there, why, you can get on the floor and look up at them, and if you look at a grown-up from the floor, I'll tell you their nostrils look like a pig nose. So it's point of view. So one of the reasons little kids draw that way is because of their point of view. You know, if you are really tall and looked at people, you may never see the nostrils. All you would see is a nose shape. So again, kind of point of view. But part of it is to do this. Now, let's take and we'll make maybe a nose like this. I'll play with that for a while. And we'll add eyes. Okay, we could add little tiny eyes. We could take another nose, make the eyes a little bigger. Maybe put them over to the side. Look at how different the expression is here. Let's try something similar but different again. I'm going to draw another nose with some eyes, but this time I'm going to put the colored part of the eyes way up here. Okay, that cartoon is looked like, and it's imagining, or oh no, or there's a number of things just by the simple changing of the shapes. Let's do another nose, and this time I'm going to elongate the eyes. And we'll do kind of like we did in the other one. I'm going to put a eye line in here and just a little tiny thing. And look at how kind of sleepy, or like he's daydreaming, looking off into the distance and not really in the here and now. And maybe because this is a daydreamer, I'm going to put some kind of little choppy hairdo on it. And just a little tiny mouth, not to show much expression. So what you can do is you can begin to play with exaggeration, position, and very simply begin to tell a story. We're all familiar with the forever happy face. And the happy face first came out many years ago, the guy who came up with the happy face. You go online today and you search these kinds of shapes, and there's probably 1,000 or better variations of this circle, half circle with two little circles in a face, and it's based on position, maybe shading, or other kinds of things. So here's a whole circle as a head that we could work with. Let's try something else. Let's make it a square.